Hey guys, John from the John Muir Show here, and the presidential primaries for the 2020 election, well, the start of it's still roughly a year away, but that doesn't mean there's no news on the front. If you've been paying attention, there's been plenty of news on that front in recent weeks, as you've already had a handful of Democrats announcing their intentions to some degree for the 2020 Democrat presidential primary. And with all these names coming out, it seems that the one that's really emerged as the early frontrunner is California freshman U.S. Senator Kamala Harris. Now, for me personally, I've long thought that Senator Harris is going to be the one who ends up emerging from the Democrat primary, even before she had officially made her intentions public. I think she's someone who, in the end, is going to get the Democrat nominee, and I do believe she is the one who is going to be challenging President Trump for the nation's top office in November of 2020. Harris is someone who really does appeal a lot to what so many on the left have been calling for in this cycle. You've heard so many prominent liberals, especially a lot of the folks in the fake news media, going out there and saying that a huge focus of the 2020 presidential cycle, at least on the Democrat side, is going to be, not surprisingly, but shamefully, on identity politics. So these people are in heaven that the early frontrunner for the Democrats nomination is a minority female. Now, for Harris, she's already taken a lot of stances publicly that are going to do quite well for her in the primary race. She opposes ICE. She's someone who's all for an expensive government-run health care system. She is, as the kids say, woke. So she probably has a pretty good chance of being the Democrats' nominee. But, okay, that's fine. You're going to do well in the primary. What happens when you get to the general election? You see, Kamala Harris, or quite frankly, whoever it is that emerges from the crowded Democrat primary field, is really going to have to walk back a lot of the things that they say during the primary season. And look, I understand that most, if not all candidates, whether it be a Democrat or Republican, end up speaking a little bit differently in the general election than they do in the primary election because they have to appeal to more people. But just think about the degree to which Kamala Harris or the eventual Democrat winner is going to have to walk these things back. I mean, it's become abundantly clear, even in the early stages here, that the goal of the Democrat primary season in 2020 is going to be, can I run further to the left than everyone else in this field, really taking up after what Bernie Sanders did back in 2016. Just seeing, okay, can I be more liberal than all of the other individuals who are in the Democrat Party? And it's leading to some absolutely radical things being said. I mean, abolish immigration and customs enforcement, the law enforcement officers who keep us safe, who ensure that people who are in this country illegally, who go on to commit further violent crimes, get punished and removed from this country. You're saying you want to get rid of that agency, Kamala Harris, comparing them to the KKK? I mean, it is absolutely absurd, some of the things that she's been saying. Again, yeah, Democrat voters are going to eat that up, but once you get to the general election, you're talking about having to win over a lot of independent voters who are going to make the difference in the swing states. And if you talk about the average independent voter in a state like Iowa or Michigan or Wisconsin, I don't think they're going to want to hear things like, yeah, let's abolish ICE. Let's shove some incredibly expensive government-run healthcare system on people. That's not what people want to hear. So she's really going to have to walk back a lot of the stances that she makes if she ends up getting the nomination, far more than most other Democrat and Republican candidates traditionally have had to walk those things back. Because even if people aren't absolutely in love with Donald Trump, objectively speaking, the things that he stands for, the things that he is pushing are a lot less radical than so many of the things that you're hearing from the Democrat Party in recent years. I mean, they have taken a lot of, quite frankly, un-American positions, talking about open borders, talking about not looking out for the well-being of the United States of America and its citizens financially and physically. I mean, it's absurd, some of the things that they have been saying. And on that front, Kamala Harris, prime example here. There's, at last check, a sign in front of Kamala Harris's Washington, D.C. Senate office saying, dreamers are welcome. Dreamers, the nice little fluffy term that the left has put on people who are illegal aliens. It says dreamers are welcome outside of Kamala Harris's Senate office. And now there's also a story that's coming out from an angel mom, so a mother of a American citizen who was murdered at the hands of someone in this country illegally, saying that her and so many other angel parents went to Senator Harris's office just to try and speak with someone and get their point heard about why they have such a problem with illegal migration. And that she says, this angel mom does, that the folks working in Senator Harris's office were threatening to call the police on them. And there was nobody saying that there was anything that was out of line, any sort of criminal behavior or anything. It's just that the office just seemingly didn't want to talk to these people because they weren't the kind of people who fit the narrative that Kamala Harris is trying to push. It's absurd that she is willing to say, yep, we love people in this country illegally, but we don't have time for law-abiding American citizens. That is not the kind of thing that wins you a general election. Again, when it's the ever-moving to the left Democrat Party's primary, yeah, sure, Kamala Harris, congratulations, you're primed to do great things. But when it comes to the general election, I think Kamala Harris or whoever it is going to be in trouble. And I'm not saying that the Democrats have no chance of winning. Obviously, anything could happen. But at the same time, I think if common sense prevails and if just America first policies prevail, the Democrats, with the way they're going already, have a very, very tough hill to climb if they want to get the White House back in 2020. And that's all the time that we have for today, but tune into the John Muir Show each and every weekday, 8:40 a.m. on WTAQ, 9 a.m. on WSAU and WHBL. Till next time, I'm out.